Hi and welcome to Watch the Time and my unboxing of a new watch. Now I think you can probably guess which company this watch is from, and today we are being overseen by someone a little bit sinister looking in the top left there, but we'll crack on anyway. Now I had actually a request quite a while for this, and that is to have a look at the Casio Edifice line. Now that's obviously what I've bought here, but my issue with the Casio Edifice line is the range. There's hundreds of them, and they range from fairly cheap watches. This one was about 140 quid up to sort of £900, and there's loads in between, and it's very difficult to sort of pinpoint what you're paying for. So you have to be a little bit careful, especially when buying these. If you look to buy these second hand, to know exactly what features you're getting. This one I actually bought brand new, and I'm going to go ahead and start the unboxing. So this is my first ever experience with Edifice. I have had this out of the box and been playing with it, and I've worn it because I want to be able to give you a good idea of what I think of it. So nice box, just a cardboard box, nothing fancy. That does me in this price range. I've got no problem with that. And there you go. So let's just bring it in for a first impressions. Now there's a couple of reasons I bought this. One was because the size suited me, and there was some much bigger versions. I actually got it on sale, so I got it for a reasonably good price, and I kind of just like it. It's very shiny and very blingy. I'm unlikely to be keeping this as part of my collection, but that's not to say I don't like it or it's not a very good watch. It's actually it's quite interesting in an odd way. So I'll just get it out and off the cushion. In the box you get the usual little pamphlet with the module details, and it's a 5587, and that's the actual full reference of this. So very catchy, EFSS 530D1AVUEF, and it's an EU model there you can see, and the module number 5587 again on there. And on here, that is very nice for a Casio, sapphire crystal, solar powered, 10 bar water resistance, and a stopwatch. The spec that I've gone for on this watch is what I think is a useful spec. So we've got a watch that can be like an everyday watch. It's solar powered, so you're never going to need to change the battery on this, and it's a watch that you could just leave in a drawer for a couple of months, just pick it up and go, or wear it every day. You've got a decent amount of water resistance, so you're 100 meters means it's okay to go swimming in rivers and the sea and things. And obviously, if you go in salt water, you would need to rinse it off afterwards in fresh water, but I'd be happy to wear this in the sea, in the rivers, in swimming pools. You shouldn't really wear watches in the shower because the heat and the soap can affect the seals, but it would be fine, this one, in the shower as well. So, a really robust watch. Obviously, it's on a bracelet, and we'll have a look at that because Casios are renowned for some iffy bracelets and some half-decent bracelets. I actually don't have a problem with the bracelet on that watch, and the combi bracelet on that watch is fantastic. So we'll see how we go. So I'll just pop it off the cushion. So as you can see, this is a 3-dialer, and it's obviously got a stopwatch on it. It's also got a 24-hour indicator. It's got a battery level indicator, and it's got some kind of funky things about it. Now the first thing you might notice is that it's got a 10 over here on the left. It's got a 10-minute timer, and that is it. There's just nothing more than that. It's only a 10-minute stopwatch. I think this would have been, as a useful tool, much better if that had been a 10-minute countdown timer. I think that would have been fantastic, and I've never seen, other than yacht timers, watches that have, like analog watches that have countdown timers, and I think that would have been a great feature for this watch, and it would have been one that I would have kept. But as it is, it's just a stopwatch that counts up in seconds only. Yeah, so we've got running seconds in the middle. That's your normal seconds, and this is the stopwatch seconds down the bottom in the little one. Now, usually on a stopwatch, the main hand would be the running seconds, and the reason for that is obviously if the hands are down here, it'll actually cover up your timer. So As a timing tool, this isn't actually very good. And the fact that you only get 10 minutes, and when it gets to the 10 minutes, it just resets itself, and I'll show you that in, 3 minutes time. You'll see it reset itself. So as a timer, it's actually not very useful. There's no tenths or hundredths of a second or anything like that. If you need a watch where you need to time something that's always going to be less than 10 minutes, and you're only worried about the nearest second, then this may be the watch for you. But the timer does something funky at the end, and to me, it kind of, the fact that it's fairly useless, in my opinion, is made up for the funky way it resets itself, and you'll just see that in a minute. The third sub-dial over on the right-hand side is a 24-hour indicator. You know, I've never found that particularly useful. I understand the reasons for that originally, having an indicator, would be if you was in a situation where you're in complete darkness for a long period of time and you've got no reference to whether or not it's day or night, then a 24-hour indicator can be useful. But I can't imagine anyone who buys this watch will be in that situation. It's almost just a style exercise. So there you go. I'm just going to ramble a little bit until we get to the end of the timer. Obviously you can stop the timer at any point and reset it, but I just want to let it run to its 10 minutes because I thought perhaps it will restart itself or reset or something, I don't know, but what it does I was quite surprised about. So we've got about a minute before that happens. So I'll just take you around and show you the case. We've got a nice signed crown. It's not a screw down crown, but so we've got 100 metres of water resistance. The brushing and the polishing on the watch is nice. It's not stunning, but it's quite nice. I've got no problems with it. It feels nice in the hand. There's no sort of sharp, nasty edges or anything. So I've got no problems with that. Again, there you see some high polish, some brushing. You know, they've made a bit of an effort with it. You can see there's a screw down case back, very plain, just with some information on there about the water resistance and the fact that it's stainless steel. And then we've got a sapphire crystal. Nice to have a sapphire crystal, by the way, on a fairly cheap watch. So we're just going to watch the timer go. So we've got 15 seconds now before the 10-minute timer comes to an end, and I know it's silly, but I just love things like this. Here we go. Are you ready? So that's the timer done, and let's reset. But let's take ages to do it. So if you wanted to then quickly time something else, you've got no chance with this watch. But I like that, the way it's unwinding itself. It's like, really? There you go, and that's it. Fairly interesting little excitement thing is you've got your high, medium and low solar charge rate indicator there, and if you press and hold the bottom pusher for more than a second, that just flicks around and indicates that it's on high at the moment, and then it just flicks back. Again, a funky little addition. You've got a date window there at the sort of 4:30 position. Now I think that's the best place for it. It's out of the way, it doesn't detract from the dial or anything, and just the Casio Edifice logo and that on there. Reasonably nice chapter ring, just about lines up okay. It's not bang on, but it's better than most Seikos, and it's fine. The red indicator on the second hand sort of just about lines up okay again. I've got no problems with any of that. So the bracelet is quite nice. It's solid bracelet, push pins, which I like. They're nice and easy to work with. It shows you an arrow on which way to push them out, so everything's made easy for you. You've got hollow end links. Again, I haven't got a problem with that because it's made for the watch, so it fits nicely. I don't think this is the kind of watch you're going to take off the bracelet, to be honest. It's the sort of watch that's just going to be left on knit strap for its entire life. 4 micro adjustments, which is really good. The links themselves are probably equivalent to about 2.5 of those, so you get a nice amount of adjustment. You can really dial this one in nicely. A nice brush clasp there with the Edifice wording and the logo on it. Just a pressed sort of clasp there, but it's okay. Again, I don't have a problem with these as long as they work properly. They close nicely. This one does. Nice and secure, nice and flat, sits on the wrist nicely. and you have to use both pushers to release, so you can't just press one and release it, got to press them both. I really like that. So I've got no issues with the clasp or the bracelet at all on this one. It doesn't nip hairs, and yeah, really good. Obviously this is a solar model. Since I've had it, I've not hardly worn it outside. I've worn it sort of to test it out and stuff, and it's been sat in my watch box in just indoors, and it's still got a full charge on the solar. So you know, this is the kind of watch that you're just never going to need to worry about. It's always going to be running. I reckon you can leave it for, you know, a good few months in a darkened drawer. You'll get it out and it will still be working, no problem. If it wasn't, just put it out in the sunshine or some daylight for a few minutes and it will fire up pretty quickly, I should imagine. I really like the second hand on this. There's a nice sort of lume pip on it with a red indicator at the end of it. I'll do a lume shot. It's typical Casio lume. It starts off okay and then just goes pretty quickly. And obviously there's no light on this one, so you know, for a Casio that's not great. I think this would have been better off with forget about the lume and just put an LED in it, but you know, it's fine for the money. I actually like it. I like the funky quirkiness of the fact that it's kind of useless as a timing device, but it could have been fantastic if it was a countdown timer. I like the funky way it resets, and I like the little, I just like doing this. You know, I'm hoping for a day when I can press that and it will go to the medium. I'm actually sort of deliberately trying to keep this in the dark for a bit to see that go down. When I first bought it, it was just above the medium, but it very quickly, within a day, it gone up to high charge. That's my first experience with a Casio Edifice. I'm just going to pop it on the wrist. It fits really nicely on my just over 7-inch wrist, just an average size wrist, you know, and I wear this kind of watch sort of quite high up my wrist, and it suits really nicely. I think it's yeah, I'd be happy with that as just an everyday watch. It'd make a good gift for someone for their everyday work watch, a watch you don't have to worry about. And again, you know, we've got sapphire crystal in this, which I think is great for a Casio. It's a shame they don't use that on a few more. So this one's probably going to be sold soon, but I'm enjoying it at the moment, and I say I would definitely recommend it. Not necessarily for someone to put in a watch collection, but for someone as an everyday watch with a bit of bling. I like the aluminium sort of look to the dials. So thanks for watching Watch the Time. I appreciate your comments, your likes, your subscriptions. If you've not subscribed to my channel, then please do. I've got in my back catalogue of just watch related videos about 50 videos now. I'm pushing out as many videos as I can. I'm buying new watches, second-hand watches, all sorts of stuff. So I've got lots of obviously Casios. I've got there's another box over there which is the next review, which is a Casio. I've bought I've got a Seiko Monster that we're going to have a look at, but unfortunately it's got an issue and it's got to go back. So I am going to do a quick review because I love the watch, but it's got an issue with its power reserve, so it's got to go back, and I'm really gutted about that. But there'll be a video about that and my experience with buying it on eBay, etc. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye.